It's the responsibility of a city to provide its much needed facilities to the residents. Here in Costa Mesa, we have some of the best. Today, we're going to check out 3 of our incredible sports facilities. So sit back and relax as you and I go discovering Costa Mesa. One of those magnificent facilities we talked about in the open is Jack Hammett Sports Complex. And joining us today to talk a little bit about this is recreation specialist Christian Hernandez. Christian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk about these facilities.
Okay, we're at Jack Hammett Sports Complex, but it wasn't always called Jack Hammett Sports Complex, was it?
No, it actually used to be a real farm that was operated by the 4-H club at Costa Mesa High School, which is adjacent to us. And in 1996, the city purchased it from the school district for $7.1 million. In 2012, the facility that used to be called the Farm Sports Complex actually had a name change to the former mayor, Jack Hammett. So now it is the Jack Hammett Sports Complex.
And I'm assuming that the city purchased it because at the time the property goes up for sale. We always can use nice facilities in the city, correct?
Yeah, definitely. And at that time, we didn't have a sports complex for use for our community groups, organization for sports. So it was a great purchase by the city at that moment. We actually spent an additional $1.75 million in putting down the turf, dirt, and everything to enhance the playing aspect of the field.
Because originally, when it's a farm site, it's pretty much just dirt. There's no grass out here.
Absolutely correct.
How many fields does the Jack Hammett Sports Complex have over here, and what are they used for?
Brad, we currently have 6 fields here. The primary use is for soccer, AYSO 120, and additionally we have flag football that takes place. Let's go take a walk and I'll show you.
I think to get a close-up look is going to be a lot better for us to show our audience. Looks like a lot of space out here for kids to be playing on, Chris. Tell me a little bit about what we have back here.
Correct, so we're currently looking at fields 1 and 2. Those are 2 of our largest fields on the facility, primarily used for AYSO 120 on Monday through Thursday, that's for practice, and games on Saturdays. On Friday nights, our fields have a total makeover. We have flag football out at this facility, 1 and 2, and then if you look towards the east side, we also have flag football on Friday nights.
We've got soccer posts. There's 3 of them on this field right here. Tell me a little bit, what is that? Is that to make better use for it or what?
Multiple teams are practicing on one field, so that's why you see the configuration of that sort.
So we're just trying to utilize the space, right?
Correct, yeah. We're maximizing the space on each field.
Okay. What are some of the features on the fields? Obviously, this is real grass, right?
Bermuda grass, so you can tell that at times throughout the seasons, it will become dormant. But right now that we're in the spring season, you can see the grass is green.
These fields over here are all lit.
Both fields are lit. The city staff has worked immensely in providing lights at this facility, and in 2010, American Youth Soccer Organization Region 120 spent an additional amount of money to light fields 5 and 6 for additional night use.
And lighting has always been kind of a controversy at sports fields and athletic parks and things, but these lights are, you can direct them. They have less impact on the residents, correct?
Correct. We contract out with Musco Controlling, who specialize in lighting for events, lighting for sporting events, and at different stadiums. So this is top-of-the-line technology for lighting.
Well, we still have more fields to see down this way, Chris, but right now I'd like to find out who takes care of all this. I mean, the maintenance has got to be something.
So the Parks and Community Service Department oversees the field permitting process of these facilities, and the maintenance division are actually the guys who are maintaining these fields green.
Even though it's for the residents of the community, it's not an open facility, correct?
Correct. There is a permitting process that goes through the Parks and Community Service to attain permits for this facility. The facility does close down at 9 o'clock and opens at the time of the first use, which is usually 4 o'clock in the afternoon on the weekdays. And on the weekends, which is Saturday, it's 8 o'clock in the morning until about 5 o'clock or the last permitted use. On Sundays, the facility is closed.
And that's going to be pretty much the routine with all the other facilities we're going to talk to, right? By permit, not really just open for people to walk on and use.
Correct. That's the same process for all other facilities within the city. Every facility does need a permit for a group to be on.
Okay. Are these two more fields that we're looking at this way?
Correct. We're looking at fields 3 and 4, which, as you can tell, are much smaller. They're closer to the houses.
How many teams, players does this, like, say on a typical weekend? How many people are going to be utilizing this?
The whole complex, you can expect maybe on a Friday night for flag football, you're expecting about 1,000 and 1,200 participants. That's including families. On a weekend for a Saturday games for AYSO 120, you're expecting maybe about 500, 600 families.
Right. And events, special events. Does like the Mayor's Cup or something held here too?
Yeah, we've been fortunate. Daily Pilot Cup is one of the largest youth soccer tournaments in Costa Mesa in the area, and we also work with Costa Mesa High School as well as Davis Elementary to provide fields for that event.
Now, behind us, it's one of those extra facilities that you have to have, right? Tell me a little bit about the snack bar in this area.
Yeah, the snack bar here is primarily a fundraiser opportunity for the youth groups. And we also spent some money on the infrastructure for snack bar, restrooms, and additional amenities.
And as we all know, people are coming to play, flag football or soccer. They're going to want to eat and have some refreshments too, right?
Yes, our snack bar is operated by one of our user groups. They have your Gatorade, sodas, chips, nachos, anything you expect.
Up there on top.
Definitely, if you can see
the
rooster up there, it's a little symbol of us to remind us that this used to be a farm at one point.
I'm anxious to go down because I like the flag football facilities, Costa Mesa TV. We've taped several times down there. Let's go down there now. We've taped a lot of flag football down here on these two fields that go down the slope from the other 4 up here.
Correct, yeah. Right now we're looking at fields 5 and 6, which are the east end fields at this complex. You're absolutely right. Here we have flag football. It's also used for soccer. And we've also held some special events here, primarily the BCS championships.
Yeah, the BCS has been an amazing thing for the city to host on this, one of our youth sports fields over here.
Correct, yeah. In 2010, we had Alabama practice at this facility, and in 2014, we also had Florida State. I think it's something to do with they enjoy the natural grass. Costa Mesa is a prime location, and we also have OCC for turf.
And both of those teams, I believe, actually won the national championship.
You're absolutely right. So I think Costa Mesa is the luck of the Irish.
They're thrilled with the facilities we have here, and across the street, they use OCC's weight room too, right?
The Tournament of Roses is the permitting group for this event, and they bring in the BCS teams. OCC is used just in case for any rainout because it is during the winter months. They use their turf field as well as their strength and conditioning areas there.
I mean, that's awesome for the city because their families come in from out of town. They stay in our hotels. The economy increases when these guys are in town. It's an amazing thing. I mean, it really is. We need to be proud of it.
Absolutely. You can say they shop, eat, and play in Costa Mesa.
Exactly right. And they win when they're practicing on our fields over here in Costa Mesa. All right. We're done here at Jack Hammett. Where do you suggest we go next?
Let's take a look at TeWinkle Sports Complex.
And what's over there?
TeWinkle Sports Complex consists of 3 softball fields as well as a baseball field.
Awesome. Let's go. Now we've made our way over here to TeWinkle Sports Complex. Christian, this is a lot different than Jack Hammett.
TeWinkle Sports Complex was named after the first mayor of Costa Mesa, Charles TeWinkle, and it was dedicated in 1965.
To Charles TeWinkle, who actually was the first mayor in 1953 when the city was incorporated. Okay, the parking lot here, that's a big change recently.
Yes, we added a little turnaround area for drop-offs to make it convenient for those parents. And then we also added a couple more parking spaces to the east side of the complex. And we also utilized the parking spaces at the north end of the complex.
Right. I'm anxious to get going and looking at some of the fields we have here and talking about them.
Yeah, this one's different. Jack Hammett Sports Complex, as we have 3 softball fields and 1 baseball field. So let's go take a look.
Christian, one of the things that I first noticed here is when you walk into this facility is the landscaping. It's pretty inviting to people when you come to this facility.
Correct. Yeah, the landscaping is just it's different than the other facilities. You got some bright trees, you got some green grass, and you got a long walkway until you hit those fields.
Right, and it all seems well kept. I mean, the maintenance department or whoever's doing this is doing a good job, right?
Yeah, definitely give kudos to the maintenance department. They work day in and day out to maintain these fields top playing level.
How closely do you work with our maintenance department?
Well, we provide the reports for the maintenance of the activity that's currently going on at each facility for the week's worth or the month's worth at times.
Right.
And we always coordinate. It's important for us to coordinate with them because they are the ones that are actually maintaining the field, know what's going on, know who's playing, and know what kind of setups each field needs.
This is great.
Yeah, definitely. This facility, we've added a couple of things here. We have a snack bar, we have an office in there for our softball program, and we also have the restroom facility. And as you can tell on these dugouts, we have some tarps giving the players some shade while they're sitting. This were just added last year, so it makes it inviting.
So right now we're kind of in the center, and we've got 4 facilities surrounding us. So let's walk over here and talk about this field over here.
Yeah, so what we're looking at here is field number 3. It is our second largest softball field. The uses of this field are for our city adult rec leagues, also our high school softball rentals for our high school teams, as well as our youth girls softball rentals.
Okay, I think one of the differences people will know when we get over to the other field is there's no grass on the infield. It's all the crushed brick, right? Or is it?
Yeah,
DG?
it's an infield dirt, and as you can tell, each of the fields have a 60, 65, or 70-foot bases from home plate to either first base, second base, or third base. And something different at this field, if you can tell by the pitching mound, there's 3 different rubbers, and those are the 3 different distances that are used within the group users. City staff and maintenance have worked diligently in providing extra rubbers to expand the use of the girls softball.
At one point, they really got pretty run down in 2000, somewhere around then.
Correct. So the city took action by forming the TeWinkle master plan, which included the park, which included the sports complex.
What would they to do? Just like kind of look at what improvements needed and then do an assessment?
Improvements needed, change kind of the use of the field, install drainage, install enhancements. In 2004, it all took place,
Right.
the landscaping, the lighting,
Right.
Parking. The total amount spent was over $3.5 million. And then in 2006 was the brand new renovation opening.
Major improvements to get us back up into the fields that Costa Mesa likes to present, right?
Correct. And now we do have the most prestigious athletic fields within the county.
Fence distance, the size of the fields. Let's talk about the differences we have. Are they all different sizes or about the same? How's that work?
All fields are different sizes. This is field 3 that we're looking at right now. And that is a 282 to center field, 248 to right field, 248 to left field.
They hit the ball 282 feet out there on a softball, really? Wow. That's pretty impressive. I'm impressed.
Impressive.
All right.
Pretty impressive.
Got another field over here. Let's walk over and talk about it a little bit.
As you can tell, this is our largest softball field within our facilities.
Yeah.
So here, it's a 280, but what the difference between here is that the fencing is much higher all throughout left field and right field. And the left field is 262 and the right field as well 262.
Is that to protect people out there that might be watching or schools over there, right?
Definitely, we have some schools in the background, so we increase the size of the fence,
Right.
the height of the fence, to protect any balls that go over.
That's something that when I was growing up playing ball, we didn't have are these little tables here.
You bring your dinner, have a little table set up,
Right.
and as well as sometimes you don't want the food in your lap. So
Okay, yeah. Nice stands areas for people to come and watch, friends, family, come and watch the kids play and everybody, right?
yeah, and it's also, like I mentioned, maintenance does a great job in keeping the facility clean,
Right.
day in, day out
We're
for
just
everyone's use.
Walking around this wonderful facility over here and heading over now to field number 1. What's up with this one? It looks pretty much the same to me, nothing really different about it.
Number 1, as mentioned before, is the smallest facility or field within our facility. And as you can tell right now, it doesn't look prepped because we have no use scheduled for today, or else it'd be just imminent like all the other fields.
All baseball orientated stuff, nothing, no soccer, none of that on any of these fields double as that.
No, this is all baseball, softball oriented. We do not have any other multi-use.
By permit only, contact the city's community services department.
Correct. For any permitting for all facility here at TeWinkle Sports Complex, we're looking at contact Parks and Community Services.
Right.
And as you can tell, it is pretty well fenced off.
Okay. Number 4. It's a great field, brought back a lot of memories. And it's the hardball field, right?
Yes, definitely. This is our hardball baseball field. As you can tell, it is one of the changes or differences from the other fields. You can definitely tell right away that it is an infield grass. The infield grass gives it that baseball use only field. And our distances here are 403 to center field, which is pretty deep,
Right.
320 to left field, as well as 320 to right field.
Right. And the raised mound for the pitchers, because then hardball we come off the raised mound, better kickoff. And
Yeah, so here the distances for the facility, it's 54 from the pitching mound that we can add a portable mound for pony baseball use,
Right.
youth baseball, as well as the distances to the first base, second base, third base are 84 feet. And this facility can also accommodate a 60-foot base or pitching mound, as well as a 90-foot first and second and third base.
Is it only like pony leagues out here? Because when I played, it was like community colleges. We were out here playing as a community college team.
We do have rentals and from local and out-of-state universities that come do
Yeah.
scouting sessions out here in Costa Mesa.
Right.
But as well, this is mostly a pony use facility, as well as our local club teams and our local high schools use this facility.
Okay.
And one of the advantages here, let me point out that it is lit. So a lot of the high schools in our area do not have lights.
Right.
So they'll use their night game, or their senior nights are always held here at TeWinkle Sports Complex.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was the next thing I was going to bring up, because Jack Hammett, most people don't know this, in the early 70s was responsible for getting this field lit, not the other ones, this one. Recently, I guess these all have been lit sometime during the line, but he was the one that got this. He got 3 votes for council to get this lit, and we finally had a lit field in Costa Mesa back then. It was amazing.
That is definitely amazing. I think the benefits of having a lit facility, especially baseball, for this community, it's to enhance the sport, and it gives that community aspect when you can come out to the ballpark at night.
Right. Well, I know that I owe my friend Jack Hammett a lot for when I played on these fields. I actually, in a roundabout way, because of this field, I got my scholarship to the University of Utah. So thank you, Jack, for that, for getting this field lit. And let's head over now. We're going to another kind of baseball field, too, but it's dual purpose, right?
Yeah, we're headed over to Davis Field, which is located within Lions Park. It is a multi-use field. It does have a baseball facility aspect to it, as well as the outfield is used for soccer.
All right, let's head over to Davis Field now. Okay, now we've made our way over here to Davis Field, over here at Lions Park. Now, I can remember when Davis Field was part of the Fish Fry, which is now located over in Fairview Park. But even going back further than that, this was named Costa Mesa Park way back in the 50s. Chris, what do you know about Davis Field here?
Definitely. We're here on Davis Field in the middle of Lions Park that's surrounding us. Luke Davis was a very active member of the community within the Costa Mesa Harbor baseball area.
Yeah, I think 30 years he was involved in that.
Definitely, yeah, correct. It was about 30 years. So this facility, it's called Luke Davis Field in his honor.
Some of the residents around here have noticed some definite improvements in the past few years here at Luke Davis Field. Christian, tell me a little bit about what some of those improvements have been.
Well, Brad, as you can tell, in 2012, the city worked alongside the community group that uses this facility to enhance the state-of-the-art lighting system.
So the lighting system is pretty much brand new. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, the lighting system, as in our other facilities, is controlled by Musco Lighting Control. So the staff has the ability to just, with the phone call, have the lights turned on or turned off right away. And we also can manually control them within our break room.
Now that's controlling lights on and off. What about the amount of light, the lumens and all of that stuff? Was that changed different, and directing the lights too?
Correct. Now the lights are directed with the purpose. It's directed to the play of the use, to the nature of the use. So for example, if we want to be in the outfield, we'll have only the soccer lights on, which are located out in the outfield. If we want to do baseball, we can definitely only have the baseball lights illuminate the baseball infield. And for baseball games, then we'll have the whole facility illuminated.
And we have a few residents around here, so they're not really impacted then by the lights.
Definitely not. What happens with the lighting system is it's center focus. And what I mean by that, it's focused to the nature of the use.
Okay,
so
right.
It's
And you mentioned
directional.
that earlier, and I was surprised because this is a baseball field, yet it's a dual-purpose field because I think you mentioned we have soccer, lights for soccer
Yes.
out there?
So during our seasons, during our fall season, we have one of our youth groups, AYSO 97, that uses the outfield for soccer Monday through Friday for games as well as practice as well as games on Saturdays. And then on Sundays, we have one of our local adult soccer groups that uses the facility as well.
Now, is that only this out here in left field to center field? Because it looks like we could almost get a half, soccer field on the other side.
We try to rotate the location of the soccer
gotcha.
fields through
Right.
seasons to avoid the wear and tear. So definitely, we can go from left to right to center field one season, and then we can go center field to right field the other season, just to eliminate the wear and tear.
That's very smart, and that comes from experience of working with city youth groups, grass, and fields, right?
Definitely,
Yeah.
and it's the wear and tear, the comments, the concerns that even the youth groups provide. So then we try to accommodate differently.
Because we have to shut fields down sometimes also to let them regrow and get strengthened again, right?
Yeah, we have a rest and renovation period that I work closely with maintenance to keep it on a consistent basis on all of our facilities. Right. The school district fields that we currently use are shut down during the summer months for about 45 days, right. And then city facilities, depending on projects, are shut down twice a year.
So this is a baseball field also like what we saw over at TeWinkle. We got the raised mound. Are there any differences in, those dynamics?
The youth groups that are able to use this, the bases, as you can tell, first to second to third base do not go out to 90 feet as TeWinkle does. Right. So this is a smaller field. Right. The distances to center field, right field, or left field are not quite as far as TeWinkle Sports Complex, but we are trying to accommodate more groups here within the age ranges. Mm-hmm. So that's why you can tell the base pads, but it's also an infield grass, great for baseball. And let me tell you that the infield grass is actually maintained by the local group that uses this facility, which is Newport Harbor Baseball Association. Right. And the city maintains the outfield. Okay. So anything that happens and all the renovations within the infield, Newport Harbor Baseball Association is the ones that.
Right. And what about the brick dust? Is it still brick dust or is it DG granite? What do they use? I don't even, when I played, it was brick dust.
They currently still, believe use a mixture of brick dust and DG.
And who drags that? And the user group's responsible for it, or
the user groups? We provide them with a little bit of storage space, and they have their own contractors that maintain the field. And as you can tell, they do a job well done.
And the bases are out here right now. Are they left out? Are they permanent? Or we used to have to put the bases out when we go play?
Well, as you can tell, this is another of a locked facility. Okay. So the risk of it being stolen is there, but it's very rare for someone to just jump over and walk out with some bases. So
there is security issues, and with that in mind, let's talk a little bit about how close you guys work with another group in our city, the Park Rangers.
Yeah, the ambassador group that I oversee actually works very hand in hand with the Park Rangers. And why? Because we actually oversee green spaces, meaning athletic fields where issues can become of a concern. And the Park Rangers have the ability to cite or show up to these facilities and enforce rules that the ambassadors cannot.
Because you guys are here at the time when an issue may break out, but you really can't do anything officially, legally, and you have to call in those guys to come out.
Correct. So the Park Rangers and the ambassadors have a great working relationship. We count on each other definitely for any type of issues. Nice. And we learn from the Park Rangers, and we have their support.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the facilities, amenities we have. These look like really, really nice dugouts here.
Yeah, correct. So as you can tell, we also have the shade covering for the players that while sitting on the bench. Yeah. We have 2 dugouts, home and away, or away and home, whatever the designation is.
Where do they put the bats?
The bats.
They just lean them against the fence?
They lean them against the fence. Okay. Old school, Brad.
All right. I like the old school ways, but I think we even had bat racks.
So now, and then we have the stands. Right. Which can accommodate, for a large group of people. Yeah. You can tell.
It's like a little mini stadium looking at it.
It is a little mini stadium. Yeah. I think that's the feel that everybody gets, and it's fun. And we also have the netting, which was also part of our renovation project.
And I would think part of that when people are screaming and stuff, the echo and the sound actually bounces back out this way. I mean, it minimizes probably what you hear back in the residence behind that.
Yeah, we have not received many complaints on the residents after our renovations because definitely we did everything with the purpose to eliminate
Right.
the resident concerns.
One of the ways the city works with the residents on these when there are issues is that the right field foul line fencing that goes up there. That netting that was put in specifically because there were complaints about balls ending up in neighbors' yards, right?
Definitely, yeah. So, as you mentioned, we do have the netting pretty high up there.
Right.
That protects vehicles, and it also protects the residents' homes.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Now you talked about the lighting control, and well, first of all, is there anything else we need to discuss about the fields out here? I'm pretty sure I think we covered most of it.
Yeah,
right?
we did cover everything.
Yeah.
And just to recap, it is a multi-use facility. It's one of the very few within our city that are city-owned, but we try to accommodate all the group's needs,
Right.
and that's why it's very important to have fields like this and maintain fields like these.
Okay, before you take me in and show me the panel that controls the lights on this setting, which is kind of interesting to see, do we want to talk about, these are facilities that we actually own and maintain, but we also kind of work with other groups and have other fields that the city uses, correct?
Correct. So we have fields that we are renting out as a lease from the school district, for example, at a Bolera Community Center. And we also have fields that we have with Fairview Development Center, that's a state facility, as well as we're able to use, and we're very appreciative of using school district facilities for these types of use to accommodate all these groups users through the joint user agreement.
And you, well, and mainly your staff, you guys are out there if you're chalking lines or, moving around goals and nets and things, right?
Yeah, on city facility, maintenance does all the legwork. We oversee, we supervise to avoid any issues. On school district facilities, it's mostly for the group use,
Right.
But anything that we can do to help, we definitely do.
What do you guys do? Tell me, what is one of a typical day like for a field ambassador on these fields?
For an ambassador, it's an evening shift, so they begin in the afternoon, maybe around 4 o'clock. They start unlocking facilities that are going to be used, as mentioned, TeWinkle Sports Complex, Jack
Right.
Hammett, any location that's locked. And then after that, they start on the routes, which they hit every single school district with every single school within the Newport Mesa Unified School District in the Costa Mesa area,
Right.
as well as city fields.
All right, you want to take me over and show me the lighting control of Davis Field here?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so now you're opening the lighting panel inside the light control room here. Tell me a little bit about what we got in here.
So here, as mentioned, we have all of our control modules. This is what works for all the lights that we saw out there. This is where the control room, here with all the breakers, modules, and as mentioned, it's all controlled by Musco Lighting.
I'm a technical guy, and I'm even looking at things going, I'm overwhelmed. This is like confusing. Is there just like a button, a timer you set, or how does that work with the lighting?
Yeah, we automatically set them online, but if there were to ever be an issue,
Okay.
we can manually, let me get this closed, we can manually turn on and turn off,
Right, okay.
as mentioned, baseball, soccer, or the security lights on.
Now, for my technical brain, that's a lot easier to see. So, and that's it, and that controls the lighting, and you
That
guys...
controls the lighting, correct.
Right, and that's so we have lights off on one field. Do they affect the other field, or just residents, or just not wasting power?
Not wasting power, but if nobody's on the facility,
Nobody- right.
we can isolate each use.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, let's head on out. Let's go back out to the dugout, all right? Traveling around all of these wonderful facilities the city of Costa Mesa has, I'm getting a little tired. Plus, the sun was beating down, and we got this nice cover of the dugout. And I got to admit, it's been a long time since I've actually been in a dugout, and it's bringing back some memories. But anyways, Christian, thank you for taking us on this tour of these fascinating facilities we have in the city.
It's been a pleasure, and I just want to re-emphasize that, maintenance does a lot of work on these facilities, as well as city staff just in general, planning for capital improvement projects at each of these facilities. And staff, the Parks and Community Services staff, they're the ones that actually get the easy end of this.
Right, because we also have security issues with the park rangers showing up. You got you guys doing the maintenance, running the fields. We have people taking the permits, orders, and people wanting to use them, right?
Yeah, it's definitely a group effort.
It
It's
is.
definitely a group effort.
All right, well, that's what the city of Costa Mesa is about, right? Providing these kind of facilities and services to the community.
Definitely, we want to provide a safe area for recreation.
All right, and for those of you who would like to see something that you're passionate about on our future shows, email us at the address you see below. And until then, and next time, remember, we are discovering Costa Mesa.